Hey guys, Barwan Bambly here from the Sketch Monkey, and I posted something on Instagram a few days ago about what you wanted to see. If you wanted something specific to be sketched, a lot of you guys said headphones, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. I did some warm-ups here. This is what like a warm-up page looked like. I haven't sketched in it feels like a week, so I need to get back in the zone because it feels like I lost some smoothness over the last week, so I'm trying to get that back. But for warming up, I don't have any rules for warming up except just putting lines down on some cheap paper and trying to come up with some maybe you can come up with some cool shapes here at the warm-up stage already, but it's mostly for just getting back in the zone and getting the hand warmed up and stuff like that. Headphones. Let me just put on some music first. I think I'm gonna go with Back to the Oblivion soundtrack. I've been listening to that for like 2 years. It blows my mind every single time. It's great. And of course we have a car right here. A weird looking car, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just for warm up, so. Fill in the rams. Standard 5-spoke, super original rims. Oh, I messed it up. There we go. Maybe put some reflection in the window here. And the horizon line, I want to put that out too, just because it's one of the main things. And that's it for now. So that was the warm-up. This is marker paper, so now I'm nervous because I can't screw this up. Actually, this is not marker paper. This is some. Let's see what it is. I don't know. It's organic. I know that. It bleeds a little bit, as you can see here from my last sketch, but I don't really care. So headphones. Some of you wanted to see earplugs, so that's what I'm gonna try and sketch now. When you start sketching something like this, you can Google it. Google, see what's out there, get some inspiration. I'm gonna turn Oblivion down a bit. See what's out there already and check if you can get some inspiration, maybe some styles that you wanna copy and modify. I'm just gonna keep it very straightforward and basic. So when you start sketching, just figure out what's the main shape of the product that you're sketching. An earplug is made out of, it's usually round, so it's gonna be a lot of cylinders. So let's just start. Maybe we can have and then we connect these two. So this is going to be the front, which goes in the ear right there. Oh, that's fine. Sometimes you miss the lines like this, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna cover it with markers, so it looks like we did everything perfect in the end anyway. And as I mentioned in a previous video, like when sketching circles and ellipses and stuff like actually any line, you want to use almost sketch from your shoulder and elbow and keep your wrist locked so it doesn't move all over the place. Because you're not gonna get as smooth lines if you do that. Okay, what do we want to do now? We need some, let's see. Just putting in some section lines just to help me understand the shape of it. And this is a weird plug already. It's a super weird shape. We're gonna say that it's very innovative. It's an innovative design that has some really cool benefits to this weird shape. We haven't figured out what benefits those are yet, but that's just what we're gonna go with. So this is the soft thing that you can take off the earplug and replace if you want, and this back here is going to be the plastic part, and we need to connect those somehow. I guess that would work. I'm glad I don't have an engineer next to me saying that no, that's gonna be too expensive, we can't do that. So I'm free to do whatever I want right now. But yeah, it's going to be a very strange earplug. But for the purpose of this video, the thing with this video is, this sketch is just, I want to show you how you can just get going with any design of any product that you're looking to sketch. Just start big, start with the major shapes. This little foam thing, for example, and then you can just add whatever shape you want this, which you push in your ear. And of course we need a cord, so we're gonna make a hole for the cord here. Obviously it's going to be black. Whatever. Okay, so now it looks kind of flat. You can see that it's no depth to it. So what do we want? What do we need to do now to make this pop? So here, now we're gonna go into filling in the lines and add some line weight to some specific lines. So for example, this is down, right? So we need the baseline, which is this line here, to be thicker, because it's gonna give it like a weight to the sketch. So that's what I'm gonna do. And it's nothing more than just filling in the baseline. And we want to do the same here because it goes all the way, because it's still at the bottom here. I want to fade out the thickness, something like that. And it continues here, and we can make some thickness to this line here as well. I'm not going to bother with filling in the cord because I'm going to use a marker to make it black anyway. So I'm going to leave it like that. And since this is a hole here, this is going to be the bottom line of the hole, assuming that the light is coming from right here, from the top. So the shaded part of this area is going to be this curve right here, because the light is coming from the top, so it's hitting these areas and this area, this area. So we want to keep these lines thin, or thinner than the lines that are in the shadow, if that makes sense. If not, just comment below and I will do my best to clarify for you. Sometimes I feel like I'm so much better at writing down descriptions of how to do things and anything, but not just tutorials and stuff like that, but in any subject or category. Okay, so we can see now that it has some more depth to it. I hope you agree with me, otherwise I have failed. So from here we can jump into markers now. And I'm gonna make this part is usually black or really dark gray, so that's what I'm gonna start with. Go with a cool gray 6. So I'm just adding the darker values first. Oh hey Dogsy. Same thing here, I'm starting with the bottom line. And I'm just gonna keep filling this in with cool gray 6 because it's not gonna get any lighter than this. And we can see the edges here are not perfect. Well, that's fine because we're gonna just fill it in like this. Same thing here. Oops. So much stuff on my desk. Okay. Just one more. I'm not sure if I want to keep this white because it's not a glossy surface, so I might just put in a marker later on. We'll see. And if you worry about bleeding here, the pen is going to bleed if you use Copic markers, but if you use a chart pack, it's not going to bleed, but you're gonna stink up the entire room because they smell ridiculously bad when you use them. You need a gas mask or something. Or just make sure your windows are open if you use chart pack. They're great markers, but they stink. So we're still keeping in mind that the light is coming from the top. So this is like a radius here. So I want to keep the top of the radius clear for now. I'm gonna use a lighter marker than cool gray 6 to fill that in later. Alright, we can go to cool gray 8 and just go over it one more time. Also fill in the top, because this is rounded all the way, so the lightest area of this cylinder, this is basically a cylinder, so the lightest area is going to be here, and then it goes back around. So we want to fill in this line, the top line too, with some darker shade than it's going to be here. Looks okay. I'm gonna go in between and use, so this is cool gray 6, this is cool gray 8. I'm gonna use a 7 now, just to blend it together. And this is a hole here, so we need to fill that in with something that's, I think cool gray 8 would work here, and maybe we can have cool gray 6 on the bottom here. So this is cool gray 7. I'm gonna start with that and see how that turns out. Normally you want to start with a light shade, because then you can always add darker and darker. If you add a too dark shade to start with, then there's no going back from there. So this is cool gray 6, by the way. I want to fill in this edge here too, like that. So I kind of want to put a color on this part here. Might do it green. Yeah, let's do it green. So I have these. Hope you can see that. I'm gonna start with, I think this one is the lightest. I'm gonna just start with this one. And like, don't be afraid to, if you mess up with the marker, it's fine. You can always go back and fix it, as long as you start with the lighter shade. There's always a way to fix something. And as you can see now, the pen is starting to bleed here. Well, that's fine. I'm gonna go back and fill in the lines with the pen as a final step in this sketch. And this is going to be, this is not a matte surface, so I want to keep a white reflection here somewhere. And since this white reflection is here, it should be somewhere in the same spot here. Basically just filling in the blanks now. And I'm going to keep this area white just to give it a highlight. Now we can go to a darker shade of green and do the same thing that we did with this part. So start in the bottom. I think that's cool. And now go to the darkest shade of green. Let's see if it's bleeding through. Oh, we're fine so far. Cool. I wish I had even darker shade of green than this one. What you can do if you don't have a darker shade, you can add a gray marker on top of this when it's dry, and that's gonna make it look darker. Same thing here, so this is rounded. I want to keep I want to show that by adding some shading to the top as well. So this is high glossy, so I want to put in a few lines just like this, like the darker ones here and there, just to make it so that you can see that it's a high glossy surface. Okay, now for the chord, I'm gonna use Cool Gray 9, and I want to put a highlight on this later as well, but for that I'm gonna use white ink, something like that. I can actually use Cool Gray 9 to fill in, I'm gonna use black for that. So this is 100% black. I'm gonna fill in the baseline and hopefully not screw this up. Fixing a black line is kind of difficult. And there should be a section line here so that you divide the plastic part from the actual plug. So I'm gonna make that black as well. And then we're gonna add a highlight to this edge here. Actually, I'm not sure I want to fill in these white lines here. I might do just a Cool Gray 3, so it's not 100% white. like that. And I want to make this darker still, so I'm gonna go back to Cool Gray 8, just put in 1 or 2 lines here. Just to give it a bit more depth. And this is still too light, so might try and do a Cool Gray 4 and see what happens. Yeah, see, you can get a darker green by using cool grays. It might look a bit weird, but it gives you a bit more definition than not using anything. Okay, so from here I think we're gonna start just put in the white ink. So I'm using these pens, this one, Pitt Artist Pen, and for the fine details and highlights I'm using a Posca pen. This I need to shake first, but I'm gonna start with this one. And we have a edge here that should have a highlight on it, because it's such a sharp edge, and this is almost gray and not white at all. Same thing here, so I'm gonna put a highlight in the same area as we have here and here, so at the top part of this chord. That's a bit wrong, but I'm gonna fill that in with black later, so it looks good, just like that. And now I got too many pens. I'm gonna move them. And from here, if you want to continue this sketch, you can go back to your pen and fill in the lines that have been blurred out by the marker. So I want to do that especially on the outline of the sketch, to make it, just to make it sharp. And this white here I really don't like, but there's nothing to do about that now. Just add some lines on the plug too, and do some shading at the bottom like we did over here. Alright, I think we're starting to wrap this sketch up. I don't know if there's anything else we can do. We might put a highlight right here with this pen. So I'm gonna try and do that and see how it looks. If it doesn't look good, I can always go back with the black marker and just fill it back in. I think this has started to go dry. Looks okay, so I'm gonna keep it like that. And then you can add as many details as you want, and you can modify the design, add some cool features maybe on this green part here if you want to. But I'm just gonna keep it simple like this. So start with the major shape of the design, which in this case are a bunch of ellipses, and then just connect the ellipses to whatever shape you want it to be. And start with the lighter markers first, so go over the entire sketch with lighter markers, and then you can add the darker ones as you go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.